Children of the light, children of the day, and soldiers of the cross. You will know regularly preachers and teachers will warn against watching films like Harry Potter or many of the series and the stories on streaming platforms like Netflix, who has demons and ghouls and ghouls and witches and all vampires and all these movies. And even now, the latest movie release, which called Wicked, isn't it? Will warn against movies like that. And I think you get a lot of Christians that just roll their eyes and think, ah, that's so conservative, that's so prunish. It's just a movie, it's just entertainment. Well, you know what? Here's my viewpoint. People might
Darling,
argue and say,
your
you know what, for hundreds of
smile
years, Christians have
sets
had
my heart
stories,
on
including
fire.
witches and magic,
Oh,
right?
I'm
For hundreds of
glad
years,
you
Snow
understand.
White and the Seven Dwarfs, or Cinderella, or Hansel and Gretel. These are hundreds of years old stories that Christian communities have read to their children. Here's the problem of the postmodern age. Two things. 100 years back, young children were deeply trained in spirituality and Christianity. There was Bible study at home. How many families used to read Bible and pray after dinner? There was religion in the schools in society. Almost everywhere they turned, there was religious input, Christian religious input. So when they read a story like Hansel and Gretel, or saw a play with Hansel and Gretel in, for argument's sake, it was a fraction of the input into their lives, and they had a deep spiritual basis, which could buffer the odd story that had magic or witches or dragons or whatever in. Today, we live in a completely different society where most Christian children, I said Christian in inverted commas, in families that will call themselves Christian, have very little Christian input and Christian teachings. Christianity is taken out of most schools in the West, out of society, taken off TV, unless you watch a religious channel, out of society. And our societies have become secular. Now, plus added to that, is we are inundated with stories and movies and series about vampires and dragons and ghosts and witches and magic. So now the tables has flipped to where the religious input is minimal and the secular and supernatural input of all these so-called fairy tales are abundant. And the fact that that balance is now turned around make a massive difference in a child's life. Christian parents, be careful letting your children just inundated with movies about magic and witches and all those things. And then we also live in an area where the information highway on the internet, where children, if they see so many of these movies and they find it fascinating, can reach out and Google and research magic. And in real life, magic is nothing more than wickedness and a form of demonology and witchcraft. And serious, it falls under the topic of demonology and evil in real life. In a story, there can be a good witch and a bad witch, and it's just fairy tale. But in real life, witchcraft has a strong demonic aspect. So yeah, make sure that your child 90% of the input is Christian and not secular or supernatural entertainment, because that will undoubtedly have a negative effect on their spirituality and could be even very dangerous. Keep your eyes fixed on heaven.